From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday, October 30th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana. As Indianapolis deals with an increase in violence this year, steps are being taken to make you feel safer downtown. Working for you will show you how this new technology works. Indiana setting another record high in new COVID-19 cases. A rising trend in how hospitals are dealing with an increase in patients.
It was in my lymph nodes. I had chemo, radiation, and a full mastectomy at 36.
October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and one woman is sharing her story of survival, what she is doing to give back after her own battle with the disease.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Friday, October the 30th. I'm Rafael Sanchez, coming to you live from my living room in Johnson County as we continue to social distance here at WRTV. My good friends, Nicole Griffin and meteorologist Todd Clausen standing by in Studio A. And today we're missing our Lauren Casey. She's sleeping in this morning. We think if Archie lets her sleep in.
Exactly. And today, Todd, it's just one of those mornings. I was walking up to the building and I'm like, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. Bundle up.
It's one of those mornings where you have to kind of tell yourself, all right, getting towards the end of fall here, winter's coming as we transition. But yeah, look at these temperatures now this morning, down to 35 in Indy, 36 in Lafayette, a little warmer still off to the east where there's a little more in the way of cloud cover. But there's no doubt about it, you need to bundle up. There's some wind out there as well, and that's putting wind chill values now in the 20s in some locations. Feels like 29 in Indy right now as well as Pruitt. So the kids, they might need a hat and gloves as they head off to the bus stop this morning. So as soon as the sky is clear, that's when your temperatures fall into the 30s. So eventually I do think you get there with the later sunset now as we work our way into the morning hours. Back off to our west, it's pretty clear. So it does turn into a pretty nice day for us. We just have to burn off a little bit of cloud cover here this morning and then partly cloudy skies. Eventually this afternoon we go mostly sunny. The problem is even with the sunshine, we have a north wind today, and that's going to keep the temperatures from warming a whole lot. We'll be in the mid 40s by 1 p.m. with high temperatures only in the upper 40s later on this afternoon. Nicole.
All right, Todd, thank you. Here's a live look outside this morning from our INDOT traffic camera. This is I-74 Post Road. We did tell you earlier about an interstate closure near London Road, but that has now cleared. So if you are heading into the city from Shelbyville or maybe spending the day in Cincinnati, there are no crashes or delays to slow you down.
Nicole, new overnight, a young man has died following gunfire on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Police tell us the shooting happened around 2 this morning near 33rd and Ashland Drive. That's near 34th and Shadeland. Officers believe the victim is between 16 and 21 years old. They say he ran into a neighboring yard after being shot. He died by the time medics arrived. We're still waiting to learn more about the victim's identity. No word yet either on a possible suspect.
A woman and teenage boy are in critical condition following a shooting on the city's northeast side. This happened just before 7:40 last night at the Williamsburg North apartment complex. That's off 62nd Street between Allisonville Road and Binford Boulevard. Officers say IEMS arrived on scene and performed life-saving techniques on the woman before transporting her to the hospital. The teen was also taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police say they are not sure what led up to the shooting.
This is normally a very quiet apartment complex. We don't receive very many police runs to this area. It's so important for witnesses to come forth if you were here in the area at the time of this situation.
It is still unclear if the two victims are related. Officers are pleading with the community, as you heard, for anyone to come forward with information that could help solve this crime. If you know something, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
The time now is 6:05, and this is an effort to help you feel safer in downtown Indianapolis. The Indy Public Safety Foundation is now teaming up with IMPD to install more security cameras outside of businesses in the downtown area. The non-for-profit group serves as a bridge between businesses and the city's public safety agencies. Newly installed cameras are part of the B-Link Indy initiative, which gives IMPD access to cameras outside of homes and businesses across the city. Officers will be able to watch the cameras live after receiving a 911 call from the area.
Really, the perception of safety downtown is what we're dealing with right now. It's shown through the numbers that it's a very safe place, but we want people to feel comfortable coming back downtown.
And so we have more details on this. There will be about 15 camera views along Illinois and Georgia streets. Downtown Indy Inc. is helping pay for the installation of those cameras, which will then become the property of the 35 businesses that have shown interest in this program. The B-Link program is funded in part by a $750,000 grant from the city and the Downtown Recovery Committee.
IMPD is making changes to the way officers respond to protests. The department has agreed not to use tear gas and other so-called riot control agents during peaceful protests. This comes about 5 months after unrest in downtown Indianapolis and is part of a lawsuit settlement with the ACLU of Indiana. The organization sued on behalf of the Indy 10 Black Lives Matter and 3 protesters, including Bree Robinson. She shared her experience at a virtual news conference on Thursday.
There was a very large number of protesters by the city-county building, and I was probably in the middle of that group. And then all of a sudden, tear gas just began to get deployed, and flash grenades were being used. And we had no notice of what was going on at the front, but then tear gas continued to follow us as we ran away. Officers chased us down alleys to get us to leave, but we didn't even know what happened.
Ken Falk with the ACLU says he hopes the agreement lifts up the rights of protesters so they are better protected in the future.
We won't see the scenes of people who are kneeling in the street, clearly engaged in passive resistance, being sprayed, or people, as Bree indicated, being pursued as they're trying to leave, or people not getting notice. Or people marching in a street peacefully, but being gassed because the police do not want them to go to another direction. All that is addressed in this agreement.
The settlement still allows IMPD to use riot control measures in certain circumstances like immediate threats or serious injury or death. In a statement, the department says the tactics recommended by the ACLU were already a part of their training, but now they are in writing. The statement also says, quote, "It is our hope that this agreement brings us one step closer to healing the division in our community and building the types of police neighborhood partnerships that reduce violence and create a better Indianapolis for all to enjoy."
This morning, a troubling situation WRTV investigates has learned that falsified drug screenings may have been used to remove children from their homes or even cause some Hoosiers to lose their parental rights. The Indiana Department of Child Services says the problems are linked to Tumo Drug Testing, a subcontractor of the Redwood Toxicology Laboratory. That's the company that DCS uses to process drug screens from parents, guardians, and in some cases, juveniles. Those screenings are used when there's an allegation of substance abuse or maybe even an indication that substance abuse may be a factor in the report of child abuse or neglect. A spokesperson for the department says Redwood is now doing an internal investigation to determine the impact to individual cases.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Indiana. Another record-setting day for new cases. The state health department reports more than 3,600 new cases of COVID-19. That's the highest single-day number since the state began reporting cases. To date, 172,730 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. State health officials also report an additional 33 coronavirus deaths. That brings the total number of Hoosiers who have died with the virus to 4,024. And as of this morning, the state says 26.8% of its ICU beds are available. That's a drop from Wednesday when 29% of the beds were open. 78% of the state's ventilators remain available.
The time now is 6:10, and the state's largest school system is not participating in the Indiana's COVID-19 school dashboard. Currently, IPS is disclosing every Monday the number of COVID-19 cases and quarantines at each of its schools. That information is coming online. The district says its students have only been back for in-person learning for 2 weeks now, and that they're focused on making sure that their COVID-19 protocols are set and being followed consistently with their families.
That's our constituency that we're most concerned with, making sure they know what's happening in their particular school community and that we're giving them that information. So that's been the focus for my school years right now. We are certainly not opposed to participating, but in terms of where I want our team to be prioritizing our time, it's in getting those communication protocols correct.
Other school districts are not participating in the statewide program. The superintendent does say that she works very closely with the Marion County Health Department. She goes on to say that her leadership team will review when and if to participate in the state's voluntary reporting system.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this morning, WRTV's Kelsey Anderson is talking to a survivor about how she's now giving back, helping women dealing with something she went through 19 years ago.
Whether it be a wig, a prosthetic, or a bra, here at the Women's Health Boutique at Ascension St. Vincent, they are helping breast cancer patients and breast cancer survivors gain even more confidence and get back to their daily lives.
It was in my lymph nodes. I had chemo, radiation, and a full mastectomy at 36.
Karen Albion is a 19-year cancer survivor.
It was terrifying. Luckily, I had a great home support system. I had a kindergartner and a third grader at the time. I just wanted to get through it for them and for my husband.
9 months later, Albion tells me she was cancer-free. Now she works here at the Women's Boutique at Ascension St. Vincent.
I feel like I can really give back to the community of women that are going through what I did.
Leah Madera is the manager of the boutique, and she says they help women at every stage of their breast cancer fight.
They'll come in and be fitted for their post-surgical garments that help with recovery, help with strain management, and then we'll see them at various stages along their journey. We'll see them sometimes if they're having chemo, we'll help them with wigs. If they are having radiation and they've triggered lymphedema, we'll see them for those garments. We also see them then once they've finished their surgery, and we'll help fit them for mastectomy bras and prosthetics.
Madera says they help more than 50 patients every month.
One of the most common comments that we hear from women during a fitting is that they finally are able to feel like a woman again.
As for Albion, she says the boutique is a safe place and something she wishes was around 19 years ago.
I just feel like it's a safe place, especially if somebody has been through the same thing you have or has been trained to deal with that type of issue. And it would have meant the world to me had I had something that I could have turned to at the time.
The items in this boutique are covered under durable medical equipment, meaning that they are covered by most insurances. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Jobs have taken a huge hit during this pandemic, leaving many looking for new jobs, maybe a new career. Coming up in Hiring Hoosiers, we're looking at the positions growing in the new job market. And TGIF to my good friend Todd Clausen, who has your Friday forecast.
And it's a bright forecast for us here, Raphael. Today, that is the good news as we get an opportunity to dry out after all the rain this week. The bad news is temperatures going to kind of be up and down over the course of the next few days as we get cooler heading into your Sunday, but then a warm up by Election Day. We'll detail it for you coming up in your 7-day planning forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It has been a turbulent job market so far, and experts say things may not get better for unemployment issues until sometime next year. That's when we may see some improvements. LinkedIn has been tracking the jobs likely to grow in the new year and over the next couple of years, predicting that many, no surprise, will be in the tech industry. They estimate that 150 million new tech jobs will be created globally over the next few years.
What you'll see from that is a lot of those roles are looking for some level of digital skills. Digital skills generally are really in demand. And we just think that the technology sector is going to be this undercurrent across all of the labor market. And I don't mean everyone's going to be a software engineer, but I do mean everyone is going to have some level of digital fluency.
Other specific jobs that will be in high demand will be in the areas of customer service, digital marketer, data analyst, and IT support. If you are looking to improve your digital skills, LinkedIn is offering free courses that can help you right now. Nicole?
If you're looking for a job, UPS is hiring Hoosiers. Today, the shipping company will make a push to fill seasonal positions during its annual one-day hiring blitz. An in-person job fair will be held from 9 to 3 at the UPS Customer Center on Bradford Road. That's near Ronald Reagan Parkway out in Plainfield. There will also be a virtual hiring event. For more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com and click on this story. That is actually where my dad works, Todd, and I think as the drivers get ready to head out the door this morning, they might need to be thinking about layers, don't you think?
You know, you definitely need to layer up. There's no doubt about that with wind chills in the 20s now in some locations. Nicole, the good news is as the drivers take to the roadways and you take to the roadways, they are dry. How cool is this shot? This is the moon, obviously, with the clouds quickly streaming by it. Full moon tomorrow, so it's not quite full here tonight, but obviously this morning rather, but it's very, very bright. And as we get into tomorrow's full moon, it's kind of a special full moon because it's happening on Halloween. The last time that happened was 1955. The next time it's going to happen isn't until 2039, and it's also a blue moon, which means it's the second full moon of the month. On the first of the month, we had the harvest moon. So it's a pretty cool moon out there, and tomorrow the sky should be clear, so it should be nice and bright on our Halloween for all the trick-or-treaters out there if it's happening in your neighborhood. This morning, as we mentioned, the headline is the very chilly start as we transition into the afternoon and eventually this evening. Skies are going to go partly cloudy and then eventually mostly sunny until sunset. And then once the sun sets this evening, we will be mainly clear. But look at these temperatures, a couple 40s out there still where there's a little more in the way of cloud cover, but down to 35 in Indy as well as Greencastle, 36 as you head up US 31 from Tipton into the Pruitt area. Some locations off to the west have wind chills this morning down in the 20s. And here's that cloud cover that'll move out. And the overall picture as you look off to the west, we expand out, is nice and quiet. So the overall weather pattern, not only here in central Indiana, but nationwide, has really quieted down. Now, as far as rain chances today, I just told you about all the sunshine, and now here I am talking about rain chances. It's a select few of you with some showers drifting in off the lake. We have a north wind today, so these would be lake effect enhanced rain showers, and it only impacts some locations to the north with maybe a quick passing shower this afternoon. And as the winds start to diminish, the threat of that shower will diminish as well. So it's not a huge deal. Just want to point it out in case you have some plans to head up north or you live in those northern locations. Friday evening, as we go throughout the evening hours, temperatures will fall from the 40s into the 30s after the sun sets, but it will be clear. The wind will be fairly calm. Low temperatures tonight into Saturday morning down into the 20s in northern locations. There is a freeze warning for some counties off towards the east. Not for everybody, because some of you have already seen your freeze. That's why it's only for certain counties, even though the temperatures will be colder in other locations. Tomorrow's a bright Saturday for us for your Halloween. Temperatures climbing up into the 50s with lots of sunshine. And then we get to Sunday. Sunday, these lines you see with the hooks, those are indicating it's going to be very windy. The cold front comes through very early on Sunday, probably 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Your high on Sunday is one of those days where it's going to occur right after midnight. So I split the difference, 42, but it's not going to feel like that. Temperatures will be falling into the 30s. Winds will make it feel like the 20s come the Sunday afternoon. And then Monday morning, look at that. You're all the way down to 26 degrees, a hard freeze for everybody Monday morning. The good news is it's dry for Election Day, and the nice warm-up heads our way by the middle of next week.
All right, Todd, thank you. Good morning to everyone waking up with us in Plainfield and Mooresville. This is a live look at I-70 east of State Road 267. There is an ongoing construction project here in this area. That project has the on-ramp from State Road 267 to eastbound I-70 closed until November 9th. Everywhere else around the metro area, there are no crashes or delays to slow you down. It's 6:22. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us.
So on this Friday, what is trending at 6? We begin with our own Nicole Griffin. She has a great view from out there somewhere if you're not stuck in your living room right now or Studio A. Nicole, what do you see?
All right. Well, if you're planning to be a werewolf for Halloween, your costume will be complete with a full moon. Saturday will be the first Halloween full moon the whole country has seen since 1944. That's according to the Farmer's Almanac. Typically, a full moon will land on Halloween every 19 years. And as an added spook factor, since full moons are separated by 29 days, every one on Halloween is a blue moon, and that means 2 full moons in the same month. We saw the first one on October 1st.
Wow.
Interesting.
Look at you being a scientist on a Friday morning.
Not at all.
Those Ball State classes really paid off. Wow. Ben Davis is proud of you. Okay.
Stop.
Listen, so on this Friday, it's time to enjoy some fall foliage. Hard to see at this hour of the day. So look, this scene, Nicole, I caught with my wife as we were driving through the countryside. She was driving, of course. I had taking pictures, as you know. Another beautiful view of all the beautiful colors that we continue to share with you as the seasons change right here in central Indiana. And Todd, really a good day, a good weekend really to go out and about and enjoy some of the foliage.
Yeah, that was a pretty shot there. Just going down the little street there. It was like two little rivets there as you drove through. All right, down the tree line street. All right, outside right now it's chilly. Temperatures are into the 30s. Wind chills are in the 20s in some areas. You have to bundle up. There's no doubt about that this morning as the skies continue to clear. As we go throughout the course of the day today, though, it does turn into a brighter day. Highs will eventually climb up into the 40s and 50s across the area. 52 in Bloomington, 47 in Indianapolis, 46 in Pruitt. The wind's going to be a little bit of an issue here this morning, but they should start to subside as we get into the afternoon hours. That is the good news. Tomorrow's warmer, but then a big time drop in the temperatures for your Sunday. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. A family is fighting something that's known as the renter death penalty. It happens when someone who rents dies unexpectedly but still has months left on their lease. Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us one family struggled to get out of this so you don't waste your money.
If someone you love who lives in an apartment dies, you'd assume the landlord would just tear up the lease. But many families find that's often not the case. Carrie Davis is mourning the loss of her beloved mother and at the same time battling her mom's apartment complex.
This is my mom's bedroom.
Despite her mom's death, she says the complex still wants 6 months' rent. What did they tell you?
They said we needed to sign a buyout agreement in order to get out of that 1-year lease.
She can't believe the family has to keep paying for an empty apartment.
So the grandkids aren't going to get the gifts this Christmas because we have to pay an apartment complex.
While this might seem unfair, even heartless, if it was your family member who passed away, in most states the law protects the landlord, not the family, when this happens.
The law is pretty clear on this right now, that if someone does pass away, the decedent's estate is still responsible for the full term of the lease.
Attorney Pavan Pruitt says this is often called the renter death penalty. A handful of states like Pennsylvania and Colorado are now outlawing it. But even there, landlords sometimes still ask for the full rent.
It is a scenario that the law needs to do a better job of contemplating.
Carrie would like to see tougher laws to protect the survivors of those who pass away.
Protect our residents and even our COVID victims from incurring thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt just for dying.
Now, taking this to court could cost a lot more than the rent, so try negotiating with the landlord so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Friday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. A man has died following a shooting on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It happened around 2 this morning near 33rd and Ashland Drive. Neighbors say a young man ran into a neighboring yard after being shot. Medics later pronounced him dead at the scene. If you have any information about this, you're being asked to call Crime Stoppers.
After pulling the plug on one of Eli Lilly's antibody studies, the government has struck a deal with the company for promising results of another study. The antibody treatment did not seem to work for people already hospitalized with COVID-19, but the treatment may be able to prevent hospitalizations. The federal government plans to distribute 300,000 doses to Americans at no cost if it is approved by the FDA.
UPS is hiring Hoosiers today. The shipping company will make a push to fill seasonal positions during its annual one-day hiring blitz. An in-person job fair will be held from 9 to 3 at the UPS Customer Service Center on Bradford Road near Ronald Reagan Parkway in Plainfield. There will also be a virtual hiring event. For more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com and click on this story. TGIF on this October the 30th. And Nicole and Todd, listen, moving on, from this Friday onward, I will celebrate every day that we remain in double digits. No matter what the number may be, double digits will always make me happy.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly out there as you walk out the door this morning, Todd, especially for the kids. You're going to want to really bundle them up. I know I was bundled up as I was coming in today.
Yeah, you know, we're dipping down into the 20s here this morning with wind chills across the area. So you're exactly right, Nicole, especially the kids have to stand out of the bus stop for an extended period of time. Hat and gloves definitely required, as well as the warmer jacket. Beautiful shot, though, from the WRTV Weather Now camera networks. Looking off towards the west, the moon, as we just told you, going to be full tomorrow. For the first time in a long time, we've had a full moon on Halloween, but still looking magnificent here this morning. Temperatures in the 30s in Indy, Lafayette, and Bloomington. Indy, actually the cool spot at 35 degrees. It's 37 right now in Bloomington. And here are the wind chill values. The winds will continue to diminish today. That's the good news, but still factoring in wind chills below freezing here in Bloomington at 31-29 is what it feels like in both Indianapolis as well as Pruitt. The clouds are starting to clear out, so just a little bit of cloud cover this morning and then plenty of sunshine as we work our way into the afternoon hours for you. So it turns into a cooler day for us, but a brighter day. We're in the 30s here through at least 9 a.m. and then temperatures eventually moderate up into the mid 40s for your afternoon high. More on that weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you. This is a live look outside this morning. One of our INDOT traffic cameras at I-69 at 106th Street up in Fishers. Traffic is starting to pick up a bit in this area, but the good news, no crashes or delays to start your Friday. Just a few hours from now, we will learn whether Lucas Oil Stadium will be used as an early voting site for the final weekend before Election Day.
Nicole, the Marion County Election Board will meet this morning to vote on a proposal to add the home of the Colts as an early voting location. The Marion County Clerk's Office made the proposal after some voters waited in line for hours this week at other satellite voting sites. The Election Board is made up of one Democrat, one Republican, and the county clerk. Indiana law requires a unanimous approval for the addition of an early voting location outside of the clerk's office. As of now, there are only 5 satellite sites in Marion County, and that's fewer sites than many counties with lower populations. Now, the proposal is expected to be approved. Democrats on the election board favor the expansion of early voting. And on Thursday, we received this statement from the executive director of the Marion County Republican Party. He is in favor of using Lucas Oil Stadium as an early voting site, saying, in his own words, it is perfectly appropriate. I think the board will move forward unanimously and in a bipartisan fashion to put that plan into place.
A man from Muncie tells us he was shocked to see a sign telling voters they did not have to wear a mask at the polls despite the statewide mask mandate. Dennis Everett took the picture at the Delaware County Government Center and shared it online. He says he wants to know if it's allowed under the Indiana mask mandate. Well, we reached out to the Secretary of State's office to get clarification. In an email response, a spokesperson says in part a voter cannot be required to wear protective devices or apparel as a precondition to appearing in person at the polls. To require them to do so would violate their constitutional rights. And that doesn't sit so well with Dennis.
Even if there was a mandate and an individual just cannot wear a mask for some legitimate medical reason, they can always mail in their vote or mail it absentee. So I don't buy the idea that this is a mandate would keep people from voting.
The CDC released recommendations for voters to stay safe while voting in person. They are similar to guidelines for grocery shopping. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet away, and bring your own hand sanitizer. A reminder, we will have a live coverage of everything happening next Tuesday on Election Day, live right here on WRTV. We'll look at all the key races, plus we'll have analysis and results when they come in. Look for us on the WRTV app on streaming devices such as Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Android TV. We will also provide you live results throughout the night here on WRTV with a complete wrap-up on the news at 11.
So are you letting your guard down? Next, we hear from a doctor about what hospitals are seeing once again on the front lines of this pandemic.
Her mission is to lift the spirit of cancer survivors like herself. Coming up, our Kelsey Anderson with the story of the way one woman is helping survivors through their difficult journey. It's 6:35. We'll be right back. It's 6:38 on your Friday morning. Indiana has set another record, the most coronavirus cases reported in a single day. The State Department of Health reported 3,649 new cases. The trend shows a large increase over the last 2 months, the lowest point being one day in September with only 394 new cases. The Health Department also reported 33 additional deaths, and that means more than 4,000 Hoosiers have now died with COVID-19 since the pandemic began. With the increase in cases, hospitals are seeing more patients with the virus. Leaders with Community Health Network and IU Health believe the steady rise is due in part to pandemic fatigue and people not taking the same precautions they may have taken several months ago. Health leaders say they are tracing a lot of these new cases back to family gatherings. They say they're ready and able to take in more patients, but people need to do their part to prevent the spread as well.
What I'm terrified about is the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, because everybody desperately wants to be with each other, and you're going to have people either traveling into the state or out of the state, and you're going to be in contact with people that may not have quarantined. So I'm nervous throughout the country, but even our own hospitals, that from about 2 weeks after Thanksgiving.
Doctors say if you do gather with your family, just try to stay outside and wear a mask at all times.
Nicole, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and WRTV's Kelsey Anderson, she's sharing with us this morning a survivor's story and how she's giving back through a special store.
Whether it be a wig, a prosthetic, or a bra, here at the Women's Health Boutique at Ascension St. Vincent, they are helping breast cancer patients and breast cancer survivors gain even more confidence and get back to their daily lives. Karen Albion works here at the Women's Health Boutique at Ascension St. Vincent in Carmel. Here they help women going through their breast cancer journey feel like themselves again. They have wigs, mastectomy bras, prosthetics, and anything a woman needs to feel like a woman again. Albion says the job she's had for 7 years is rewarding.
It's gratifying, and I just am so thankful that I can help women get through their journey. There's times that I'm in a fitting room with a woman, and I tell them that I've been through it and I'm a 19-year survivor, and they will cry and be so happy to hear that somebody like me survived, and they have hope then that they will survive it too.
The boutique has been here for 13 years, and certified mastectomy fitters say they fight alongside more than 50 patients every single month. The items in this boutique are covered under durable medical equipment, meaning that they are covered by most insurances. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. It celebrates the legacy of a defining moment of 2020 downtown. Next, the new exhibit that's underway and the message the artists continue to spread.
It's almost time to check those batteries, but why don't more Hoosiers do that? We'll talk to an expert about what should be on your honey-do list this weekend. Our Todd Clausing is keeping a close eye on your weekend forecast. Todd, good morning to you.
Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody, on this Friday. Temperatures as we head into your Friday and throughout the weekend going to kind of be up and down. Today's a little on the cool side. We warm up for your Halloween, but then the temperatures tumble as we head into the day on Sunday in a big-time way. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:44. This is a live look at I-65 at West 38th Street, where you can see traffic here is starting to pick up, but no crashes or delays, Raphael, to slow you down this morning.
Nicole, a federal judge has removed IMPD from a wrongful death lawsuit related to the police shooting of Drejon Reed. That federal judge ruled that the department is protected from lawsuits in this case. The suit was filed by Reed's mother against 4 officers, IMPD, and the city. A Metro police officer shot Drejon Reed following a chase back on May the 6th on the city's north side. After pulling over, Reed led police on a foot chase. Now, police report that Reed fired a gun and Officer DeJour Mercer returned fire, striking Reed multiple times. Family members have said evidence suggests that Reed did not point a weapon at the officer. Now, the claims remaining on this federal lawsuit include a claim for excessive force against Officer Mercer individually, as well as against the city. A claim against the city for failure to train. A wrongful death claim against the city, IMPD Chief Randall Taylor and Deputy Chief Kendall Adams. A battery claim against Officer Mercer and the city, as well as a claim for denial of medical care against Officer Mercer. We did reach out to the Reed family attorney and the legal team, and we're still waiting for a response this morning.
Local artists who created the Black Lives Matter mural on Indiana Avenue are working to continue the conversation surrounding racial and social justice. Their work is now being featured in a new exhibition called 18 Black Lives Matter. All 18 artists have their artwork in the show at the Indianapolis Art Center. We talked to one of the artists about what she hopes people feel as they walk through the exhibition.
Whatever background you have or whatever stance you have, whether it's politically or race or anything, I think artwork just has a way of bringing out empathy, and that's what we really need in this world, is more empathy. And I think when people come to this exhibit, they are really going to be, I think, really moved by our work and our message.
The exhibition is open now through early 2021. The Art Center, which is located on East 67th Street in Broad Ripple, is open 7 days a week and is free for the public. It's 6:46, working for you now. The pending time change serves as a seasonal reminder to check the batteries in all of your smoke detectors.
And of course, Nicole, we say that often this time of year, but why is the message not sinking in?
Joining us now is the Deputy Chief of the Bargainsville Fire Department, Mike Pruitt. And Mike, it doesn't matter what season we're in, those smoke detectors play a vital role in keeping all of us safe.
Absolutely. I mean, we never know when fire may break out in our home, but if you don't have a working smoke alarm, there's going to be tragic consequences. And so this is the most affordable safety device you can put in your home to keep your family safe throughout the year. Whether cold weather, warm weather, doesn't matter. You should always have a working smoke alarm on every level of your home, if not in every sleeping space.
Why do you think people, you talk about it, it's an easy thing to keep in the house, but why do you think people just don't buy into the message that that can save your life?
Most of us have never had a fire in our home. So we think, yeah, but it'll never happen to me. You know, it goes off every once in a while. Well, maybe we burn something in the kitchen. But fire will never happen to us. But if you speak to people that either did not have a working smoke alarm and survived, or people that did have an alarm that went off in the middle of the night, you get a true understanding of just how important these are to getting your family out safe.
Mike Pruitt, Deputy Chief, Bargainsville Fire Department, thank you so much.
Thank you, Raphael.
Mike, thank you. If you can't afford a smoke detector, call your local fire department to see if they can help you. Many offer the opportunity to install those safety devices for free, so give them a call. On this Friday, time to check your forecast. And Todd, a number of local high schools will be playing football tonight. Please don't forget your coats and buy some hot cocoa.
Yeah,
it's going to be cold out there, right?
Yeah, hot cocoa. You have to bring the blankets, just bundle up, as temperatures by this evening, as I'll show you, going to be in the 30s for a lot of those games. The moon just hidden behind these clouds that continue to stream across the area. Full moon tomorrow, but looking bright and beautiful here this morning as well. 35 degrees is the current temperature. The winds have continued to calm down, and that's going to be a trend throughout the day, and that's good news for us, but it still feels like 29, and that's why you need to bundle up this morning with that wind wind chill. 35 right now in Greencastle, 37 in Greenfield, Columbus. Good morning to you in Bartholomew County, sitting at 39 degrees. And we'll stay in the 30s here through probably about 10 a.m. So it's a real cold start to our day, but with lots of sunshine today. Temperatures eventually climb up into the 40s. The wind not going to be as much of an issue this afternoon as far as the wind speeds go, but because that wind is out of a northerly direction, that's what's going to prevent us from warming all that much throughout the day today, even with the sunshine out there. But at least you can finally put that umbrella away and break out the sunglasses once again. A few lingering clouds on the east side of the state, and that is just about it. But the big storm from yesterday and the remnants of Hurricane Zeta now pushing off the east coast and back off to the west. It's nice quiet weather, and that's what we're going to enjoy for the weekend. Here is the high school football forecast and your forecast in general for tonight. If you do have plans on this Friday night, clear skies, calm winds, temperatures in the 40s, eventually falling into the 30s as we get into the evening hours. So make sure, again, you have all the warm layers for those games tonight, or if you're going to be out and about. Tomorrow starts at 29 in Peru, about 32 the low temperature in Bloomington as well as Columbus. And as we work our way throughout the course of your Halloween, it's going to be bright. No threat of any precipitation. That is the good news. You will notice the winds start to pick up a little bit throughout the day tomorrow as temperatures eventually climb into the mid-50s. So let's talk about the wind. Again, it subsides here throughout the day today. Not much of an issue for your Friday. Saturday, it kind of ramps up. So by the evening hours, if the kids are trick-or-treating, we're looking at some gusts that'll be up near about 25 miles per hour. And then it continues to be very windy as a front comes through early Sunday morning. And you notice these arrows, that's the wind direction that wind is coming from. They switch to the northwest with gusts up to about 30 miles per hour during the afternoon hours on Sunday. That is not good because, one, you're going to have to factor in wind chills, and two, it's driving in much colder air. Your high temperature on Sunday will be right after midnight, and that's going to be in the mid-40s. Here you are at 9 a.m. on Sunday. At this point, we're falling into the 30s. We've been in the 30s before. We are this morning in some locations. We have not been in the 30s, though, in the afternoon hours, and that's where we will be on Sunday. So temperatures will only be in the 30s Sunday afternoon, and then you factor in the wind, and it's going to feel like it's in the 20s Sunday when you factor in that wind chill. So it's not going to be a very pleasant day for us. Once we get past Monday, which is extremely cold in the mid-20s, we do have a nice warm-up heading our way. Election day, thankfully, going to be nice and sunny for anybody who has to wait in line. Temperatures in the mid-50s, and then Wednesday and Thursday climbing up into the mid-60s.
All right, Todd, thank you. Here's a live look from I-465 at Keystone Avenue on the city's northeast side, where you can see here traffic is starting to pick up at this location. But the good news to start your Friday, no crashes or delays to slow you down.
So Nicole, the stage lights are back on for some very important performers. Next, it's Good News Friday with a group of students and a show that they will never forget. That story coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana. It is now time to wrap up this work week with some good news on this Friday. And did you know, Nicole, that Play-Doh is not only for kids, now there's Play-Doh for us adults.
I did not know that. Well, this Play-Doh doesn't have that great Play-Doh aroma you may remember for your childhood. Listen to this. Play-Doh for adults features grown-up scents such as Spa Day, Overpriced Latte, and Grill King. But if those don't appeal to you, Ruff, how about Dad Sneakers, Mom Jeans, which has roses, freshly washed denim scent. A 6-pack of 4-ounce cans of Play-Doh for adults is available on Amazon for just $11.99. Wow.
Yeah, as the dad to a college student male, I don't want anything that smells like sneakers in my house.
No,
but okay,
thanks.
to each his own, right? Now this, Nicole, might make you smile or might make you wonder, where did the time go, right? We want to wish a very big happy birthday to the Fonz himself. Actor and director Henry Winkler is turning 75 years young today. You may recall that he played the role of Arthur Fonzarelli on the hit ABC show Happy Days, a show that Nicole, Todd and I watched when we were younger. You probably were not born yet, but take our word for it. It was a good show, and may I just say the signature words, hey.
What about this? Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
Look at you, American Idol in the house. Okay.
darkness and grief and unspeakable sorrow.
I love it when you talk like that.
Well, student theater productions have been extremely limited due to the pandemic, but last night for students at Guerin Catholic High School, the show finally went on. It was opening night of their production of The Addams Family, the musical. The show streamed live on Facebook, and for a few audience members in attendance, they watched from a classroom nearby. Ralph, so good to see them back at it.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Todd Clausen.
We got all
what's the temperature like out there,
in here.
I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to bring you the forecast. It's a dry stretch of weather, thankfully, the next 7 days, but temperatures up and down. Chilly today, 48, 55 on Saturday. And very cold, though, and windy on Sunday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. Have a great day.